Hi, my name is Kevin Fernandez and welcome to my channel, Gamers Genie. Today, I, just like Disney and a lot of other movie studios, have run out of ideas, so I'm just going to rehash one of my old ideas. I'm going to talk about my top 10 favorite intro to board game games. Now, last time I did this with my, I think she was my girlfriend at the time, but it's my wife, Jordan. So if you want to check out our other top games that we considered good introductions into this hobby, just check out that list. I'll leave a link to that in the description below so you can check them out. The reason why I decided to do, one of the other reasons why I decided to do this is because it's been a while since I've done this. And since then, there have been other games that I've played that I feel could give everybody a nice, comfortable introduction into the game. Now, last time I tried to keep it like organized and everything. This time I just picked games I felt would be a good introduction into the hobby. So, you know, regardless of that. But without further ado, let's count down. Alright, so number 10 is Fort by Leader Games. This game is a deck builder game. One of the things I do like that is it does have a little bit of a take that element. So it's like, you know, you play your cards, but you can only play one suit. Well, then you have doubles of a suit. Say you have like doubles of your suit, you put them in your yard, and then all of a sudden your opponent takes them when they're inviting friends over. It's really hard to list that because it's like recruiting. Okay, well, I'm not recruiting kids. Hiring, I'm not hiring kids. Paying for kids, no, I'm not doing that either. So that one's really hard to do. So I just say inviting kids over, like, you know, they're bored, they still want to play and hang out. Well, you just invite your neighbor's friends over. Plain and simple. I think this is a really good introduction to deck builders, especially for kids. And one of the nice things is, though, you know, you can, you know, like kind of slow down your opponent a bit. Your kids can kind of like have the joy of slowing you down a bit. So it's in my honest opinion, I think that's a good intro to board game. It's not as simple. It's not like Dominion or something like that. That's a little more better, but all of those games have a little bit of take that. So, you know, number 10, Fort. Number 9 is Splendor. I like this game. You know, you start collecting chips, and then you spend chips to get cards, and then eventually you get cards to try to get like lords and everything, and try to maximize your points as best as you can. I think this is a pretty good intro to board games. I think like if you have the full 4, I think by the time you go a full circle, most people should know how to play it. Once you're in like that second round, then everybody around the table should know how to play this game. It's a relatively easy game to play, in my opinion. I think the artwork is still beautiful. It's gorgeous. They just released, I believe, a brand new box cover with that. It's not a second edition though, so I mean, it's not listed as second edition. It's a pretty fun game. It's pretty enjoyable. I think a lot of people who are new to the hobby would definitely enjoy it. So number 9 is Splendor. Okay, so number 8 is Cascadia by Flat Out Games. I do really feel like a lot of intro to board games that have an introduction, I feel like a lower player count. So 4 is probably, like, in my opinion, the sweet spot, especially when you're learning how to play new games. Cascadia is a really simple game. You just take tiles, place it in a grid. Just keep doing that. You might want to try to... you get a little extra points for getting a whole area completed, like, you know, marshlands, grasslands, mountains, rivers, all that stuff. But all in all, it's not something you need to pay attention to. So that's always such a good thing. I also have the expansion, Cascadia Landmarks, super fun. This is a really relaxing, enjoyable game. You kind of just focus on what you're doing, not what your opponents are doing. That's one of the reasons why I feel like this is a great game if you are being introduced into the hobby. Nice, relaxing, enjoyable. Number 8, Cascadia. So, number 7, I would say Disney Dixit. And the only reason why I'm putting this one over the regular Dixit is just because it's a lot easier to get on the same page with everybody to maximize those points and to try to knock yourself ahead on the board. Because everybody should know what you're talking about, as opposed to the regular Dixit, which is fun for someone like me. I like the abstract artwork and everything like that. But you could, unless you all know each other like really well, yeah, you're not going to get that far. With Disney Dixit, you don't need to know each other very well. You just need to know, like, Disney very well. And so if you're a pretty big Disney adult, you probably would enjoy this game. It's super fun. Artwork is gorgeous. Just absolutely beautiful. I think the artists really took advantage of how they could express those Disney movies, and they didn't go through all the Disney movies, and I would love to see some Disney Dixit expansions, plus maybe something that can make it a larger player count. I don't know, I'm just pushing myself. But yeah, number 7 is Disney Dixit. Okay, so number 6 is Wizard Kittens by Magpie Games. This game is relatively simple to do. All you need to do is just match the cards on the spells. So there's a large version of the cards on the spells, and then you have small versions of those cards. And you have to try to line them up in the same pattern as the large cards. And then once you do, then you complete that curse and you remove it. Of course, obviously, you have to do it before the professor comes. And once you do, you all win, but, the person who... It's kind of like a legendary rules. The person who dispelled the most curses is the ultimate winner. But all in all, it is a cooperative game. Cooperative games are always a good game to have for people who are new to the hobby. It's really enjoyable. The artwork is very cutesy. It brings out that little kitten thing. So, number 6, Wizard Kittens. Alright, number 5 is Everdell by Starling Games. This game I do enjoy. It's a 4-player game, but if you have the Belfair expansion, you can expand it up to 6 players. It's really simple. You just take one. Each player starts off with 2 workers, and they can take one of those workers and you can place it anywhere on the board. Now, anything that has a closed circle can only have 1 worker there. But if you have like a circle that's more like a crescent moon, then you can have as many workers there as you possibly can, as many workers as you want there. And you can collect resources, build like buildings, get some critters out there. Again, it's another thing to maximize your points. But then there's other things that can give you bonus points. It is very fascinating, very fun. The artwork on the cards is another beautiful artwork. This is just a wonderful, wonderful game. And I know they have My Little Everdell for kids. I think you could play the regular version with kids just fine. There's really no take that to him, so you don't have to worry about that, except for the Fool. But he's not really that big of a card that people play against each other that much. Most of the time they just kind of focus on their own thing. But yeah, number 5 is Everdell. Okay. Well, it looks like my autocorrect got the better of me there. So it's number 4 is River Valley Glassworks by All Play, but it put Aloe. Kind of weird. But this one is you gotta collect pieces of glass, put it on your board, kind of build it up and everything like that. Try to get the best that you can get. But watch out for that overflow. Everyone will subtract 3 points, not 1 point. So it really does cost you points if you have overflow. I think this is a relatively simple game to teach. Simple to teach, simple to learn, because I taught my dad how to play this game. And he took to it pretty quickly. I haven't really taught anybody who's not that familiar with board games to really back my theory up, but I do think that it is at its best for beginners. It's also got a solo mode, but I don't know that many beginners who's going to be playing a solo mode. I think it's a relatively easy game for people because there's only like 2 things you can do. It's really simple to catch up and figure out how to play this game. Super fun. The little glass beads look absolutely gorgeous. The artwork is great. Number 4, River Valley Glassworks. Okay, so this one is a new game for me, but I think this definitely would be a good game for beginners. That would be Trekking the National Parks, the 3rd edition, because currently that's the one that's out, by Underdog Games. This game, you go around this board where you go through the whole U.S. and you go through all the national parks, and you try to get like these white bordered cards, and if you get 5 of them, the game's over, and the player with the most points wins. Or if you take all the little stones off the board, the game's over, and the player with the most points wins. There is tiebreakers and stuff like that. The artwork of the cards looks very beautiful. The first player token's a little bear. I like the bead pouch is a nice leather. It's a great game. Again, another solo player game, but I do believe that if you're playing this with a group of people who have never played a board game or haven't played a board game in a long time, I think this is a good game to get them into it. It's pretty relaxing too. You can really just focus on your own thing. You don't need to worry about what other people are doing, except maybe kind of like a Ticket to Ride scenario where it's like, oh, that person has 4 parks. Oh, he's almost going to end the game. That person's almost going to end the game. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Whew, what am I going to do? But yeah, it's a relatively fun game. Kind of a nice easy-going intro to it. I feel like you should, if you have this game, you should teach this game to your friends before you teach the game Parks. This one might just get them a little more easygoing with that. But yeah, number 3, Trekking the National Parks. Okay, so number 2 is Tales to Amaze Unmatched. This one is great. It's a great way to get, if you're a big Unmatched fan and you want to get your friends into Unmatched too, you should definitely try to get them to play Tales to Amaze. I introduced this with my older brother when he came to visit a couple months ago. And yeah, he took to it pretty quickly. There was a couple stuff here and there that we still were like, what are we supposed to do? What? Huh? But yeah, he relatively quickly he got the hang of it. We almost won. It was a really close game. We had 40 health. We got him down to like 10. So, you know, since we played a full number of players, got him to about 10. We had to defeat one of the minions because it was just too crazy. I am super excited about the Ninja Turtles version of Unmatched. So I now stand by that this is a really good game to get people into Unmatched. So if you're a big fan of Unmatched, you want to get your friends who don't really play board games into Unmatched, you should introduce them to this game. If they're big Ninja Turtles fans, you could check and see about that. I don't know. I haven't played this, the Ninja Turtles one. I don't know how that's going to be with that. So yeah, number 2, Unmatched Tales to Amaze. Alright, number 1 is Creature Comforts by Kids Table Board Games. This game I feel like is one of the easiest games to get people into the board gaming hobby. You just have these little workers. They don't, unlike Everdell, they don't increase, they don't decrease. You place them on the board, And you got to try to make sure you have dice that match the numbers of all the stuff. However, you got to place those guys in areas before you know the full value of the dice, which is a really nice thing to do. So you only know what your dice are going to say, but then you have to roll the town dice, and then you kind of have to see what can I do with the town dice plus my dice, and to try to maximize what I want to get. This game is a really nice game, really easy going, not that much take that, not that much trying to stop your opponent, slow them down, block them, all that stuff that some people just say they don't like in board games. This one is a really good, easygoing game. Yeah, it's got a competitive element, but it really doesn't pick up until you start calculating your scores. I have played this game with people who are brand new to the hobby, and they picked up on this game super easy. They said they enjoyed it immensely. They gave me all sorts of compliments about this game. This game is, I think, one of the ultimate intro to board gaming games out there. Number one, Creature Comforts. Well, there you go. There's my top 10 intro to board gaming games, or gateway games, or welcoming games, whatever you want to call them. If you guys have any games that you think are also a great introduction into this hobby, please put them in the comments below. I'd love to hear them. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, hit that subscribe button, and ring the notification bell to be notified for top 10s lists just like this. And if you're a big fan of the channel as a whole, consider becoming a Patreon supporter on our Patreon page. I'll leave a link to that in the description below. You can support us for as little as $1 a month, which gives you early access to how to play videos like I don't know what it is, because as the moment of me filming this, I have a poll going on, and I don't know what is the results for that. By the time this video releases, which will be next week, Friday, I should know what that is, and I should be preparing for what we're doing to do that, like editing the script and all that stuff. Plus, I got to take care of the baby. You know, so yeah, be on the lookout for that. But until then, thanks for the views.